Hi, I'm here to discuss a book entitled Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito. It's set in the Victorian era. The author, who I've witnessed conduct several interviews on YouTube, has stated that she enjoys reading novels from the Victorian era, the Brontes, Charles Dickens, etc. And she came up with the idea to write a book about a main character who is a governess who also happens to be a sociopath, an unhinged, obviously, individual who takes pride in cracking jokes and murdering individuals that she feels either deserve it or get in the way of her main focus. Her main focus, I'm obviously not going to tell you because that's somewhat of a surprise towards the end of the novel. But for me personally, I enjoyed reading it, but a trigger warning: if you don't enjoy knowing that at the end of the title, by the author, by the main character's own admission, that everyone's going to be dead, then don't read the book. I'm interested in learning how many people have chosen to read this book via a book club recommendation, or if your book club's already read the book, please feel free to drop me a comment and let me know how that worked for you. I found this a really quick read. It's only like 192 pages. The main character, like I stated earlier, is a governess for a family by the name of Pounds who have two children, Drusilla and Andrew. And she immediately jokes upon meeting them about eating children. And, they're a little taken aback. And the other individuals in the household notice immediately that something is amiss with this young governess, Winifred Noddy, before people even go missing, which indeed does happen. If you cross Miss Noddy, if she feels threatened, that you're in the way of her personally or of her main focus, you go missing. And several staff meet that fate, unfortunately. And the writer's pretty descriptive in how it happens. But the main character tends to have a comedic tone in her delivery. But she is an unhinged killing machine. Like I said, I enjoyed reading it, but if that's not your idea of a quick read, then please consider this a trigger warning. The book has created a lot of buzz, and it was released in February of 2025, and already the rights have been purchased for an adaptation into a film. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more in the future about the title Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feito. The story starts out when the governess pretty much arrives at the estate, which is entitled Inzer House, which was originally a medieval house. So it's dark, it's gloomy, as well as the churchyard and the gravesite that sit on the property, according to the governess, Virginia Noddy. It's pretty sad that the children are not exactly the apple of either parent's eyes, the parents being Mr. and Mrs. Pounds, who control the estate, but son is just merely expected to inherit the title, and the daughter, it's hoped, will marry well. Winifred is tasked with teaching them French, writing, and they immediately impress upon her that the son is to receive the bulk of the attention. I mean, this is Victorian England. It's obviously a caste system. Winifred is allowed to eat dinner with the family and be asked questions about the children's expectations, or progress, or lack of. But she's immediately struck by how what she views as dark and a dark aura illuminating from Mrs. Pounds. And Mrs. Pounds doesn't disappoint. I mean, she's cruel to Winifred. And like I've stated, Winifred is indeed a killing machine. So anything or anyone that poses as a threat is removed. And Winifred states at the very beginning of this title that by the end of the title, everyone in the storyline will be dead anyway. So it's something to keep in mind while reading. No one is spared, basically, not their wealthy, esteemed friends who visit. And it's set 3 months prior to Christmas. And the storyline leads up to a huge Christmas weekend or dinner for friends and family who traveled, and they're all basically massacred by the end of the book. So if this is something that you think you'll enjoy, I'd highly recommend it because it wrapped up very quickly. And it did have a bit of a surprise as to why Winifred became the killing machine that she demonstrates throughout this novel. I mean, her childhood was not the greatest. And the servants in the home immediately realized that there's something amiss with Winifred, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Pounds, who aren't actually the most congenial individuals either. It's a dark read. It's given to moments of Victorian prose, but it's still an easy read. But Winifred has an ulterior motive for being in that home. And like I said, it's disclosed towards the end of the title. And I would only recommend this if you enjoy a comedic psychopath as main character, knowing full well once you start reading the book what's going to happen, because it's immediately announced by the main character. The plot, the ending plot. But I'll disclose this title in the end, my bio, the hashtags, and I'd recommend it because I enjoy horror as a genre and thriller reads. So look to hear more about this title in the upcoming months because it's been adapted into a film, and that's to come out later this year. So this has been a smash success for the author, and if you want to read more about her style and have her explain how she came up with the killing machine as a main character, which is highly unusual for a novel set in the Victorian era, then she's featured in several YouTube videos as well as an NPR podcast. Thank you.